After a standoff at sea, a group of 63 asylum seekers was reluctantly accepted by the Australian government, and they've been transferred to Christmas Island. Indications are the Indonesian government will no longer accept asylum seeker boats turned back by Australia.
When Tony Abbott's policy of saying we will tow the boats back to Indonesia comes up against an Indonesian position which says we won't have those boats come back, it was inevitably going to fail.
We need to know how many times boats have been intercepted, how many times they've tried to take people back to Indonesia.
After initially accepting 2 turned back asylum boats, Indonesia has now reportedly refused the request 3 times. But regardless, the government says asylum boat arrivals are slowing.
There will be times when it zigzags in different directions because that is the nature of this very complicated process. But the number of boat arrivals have dropped by 75% since the coalition was elected. The message is out there. Boats have been turned back. Sometimes it won't work that way.
The coalition is not claiming to have stopped the boats yet, but appears on the right path. Next on the to-do list, repealing the carbon tax. Labor leader Bill Shorten says he won't be as negative as Tony Abbott.
There's no doubt that we want to see that Australia wants to see a constructive parliament. But what I also know is that the Australian people want to see the government held to account. They want to see that what they said before they got elected is what they do when they get elected.
But on the coalition's pledge to scrap the carbon tax, Labor is steadfast that its replacement needs to be a price on carbon, not the direct action plan.
Who could be against planting more trees, better technology and better farming practices? So what we've managed to craft is a policy for climate change which is something that everybody can support.
All of that means when the 44th Parliament sits for the first time on Tuesday, it will be a familiar theme, a battle over the carbon tax. There will, of course, be a few new faces, probably that of Clive Palmer. That's assuming the member for Fairfax can fit Parliament into his